Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Jim, and today I want to talk to you guys about one of my favorite characters in Overwatch, Reaper. Now, I wanted to show you this game because it was really surprising to me that I actually got a 5 gold medal game, but it's actually one of my better games. I ended up going 20-2. I got the gold medals in elimination, objective kills, healing done, objective time, and damage done. Not particularly great on a couple of those, but it was enough for the gold, so I'm not really sure what my team was doing, but I had a blast playing with Reaper, and I wanted to show you guys some gameplay. Now, one of the things I really like about Reaper is that he is one of the few heroes in the game that has a passive ability, and his passive ability is called the Reaping. And what that does is when you are involved in an elimination of an enemy teammate, when they die at their corpse, they drop a soul globe. And you can pick up these soul globes and they give you back a portion of your health. Now this is really, really important for Reaper's gameplay because he is one of the most, even though he has guns, melee-centric characters in the game because those Hellfire shotguns do not have a very good range. And yes, at range, you do actually do a very small amount of damage, but if you want to get the job done, you have to be right in their face. So it's nice to be up close. Obviously, when you start getting this reaping ability, and you're getting globes, you're getting yourself a longer sustain, and that's what really sets him apart from a lot of the other heroes in the game, the fact that he is in melee with a really decent sustain. So, and by the way, an offensive one, I'm not talking about like Roadhog or anything like that. So, the big advantage with Reaper, two of his abilities that I particularly like, not that he has a whole slew to choose from, actually his only two abilities, now that I think about it, is the Shadow Step and the Wraith Form, and you'll see me use that quite extensively. The nice thing about Shadow Step is that you can port to places that you may not normally be able to get to. Yes, if you were running in a long stretch, you probably could Shadow Step to save yourself a little bit of time in walking, but the reality is the Shadow Step is good for getting on rooftops, getting behind enemy lines, that sort of thing. You'll see a perfect example of it here. I Shadow Step into the building. I went into the building, the enemy saw me coming from one side, then I quickly Shadow Step to the other side. Now, that particular play didn't necessarily make a huge difference, but it's a great tool in which to teleport quickly from point to point and get in behind the back lines. And my objective, one of my objectives with Reaper, not getting pinned on the wall by Reinhardt, is that I want to get in the back line and I want to disrupt their push. So Reinhardt is amazingly tough from the front with that 2000 HP barrier that's very, very difficult to take down. But from the back, he's only got 500 HP, and he drops very quickly with some Hellfire shotguns to the back. Additionally, a lot of the other offensive heroes that are a little squishier like to stand behind Reinhardt, and that is where Reaper is going to make his living, getting in those back lines and smashing people from behind. Mercy is a particularly great target because she doesn't have very much offense at all. If Mercy falls, a lot of the rest of the team will fall as well. And it's just good practice when you're playing with Reaper to do your best to try to pick off support heroes whenever possible. Because when they fall, everybody else falls very quickly. And you'll see time and time again just walking behind the enemy lines and doing the best that I can, trying to disrupt that offensive push that they have. Wraith Form is the other ability I use quite extensively, and that is really used as an escape. I never personally use it as a push. Wraith Form is when you actually become invisible, or not invisible, you become kind of translucent, and you have you can't take any damage. You can't shoot though either, but it's a great escape. It's good enough to get you around corners. It's good enough to get you away from, you know, kind of where any enemies are at. And it really comes in handy because, you know, again, if you go in there, let's say you beam in with Shadow Step and now you're kind of behind the enemy lines, right? And it doesn't work out the way you want it to. Wraith Form is a great opportunity to get the hell out of there. So you'll see that be used quite extensively as well. Now, as they push, you know, something to keep in mind and something to consider as you're playing with Reaper. He's good both offensively and defensively. I personally like him a little bit more defensively because, like I said, I think you could sneak behind enemy lines very, very quickly, and you could utilize a You could utilize your shadow step to just get in behind enemy lines and pick them off from afar. But offensively, he's good too, as long as you are using your shadow step effectively. I feel like him just walking down an aisle, let's say you're standing behind a tank, behind a diva, behind a Reinhardt, next to a Junkrat, whatever. When you're just walking down the line, when you're pushing the objective or whatever, I don't necessarily feel like Reaper is the best in that situation. And I know that sounds kind of weird for a team-based game, but you could see for the most part when I play, I am not really kind of sticking with the team. I'm off doing my own thing. And to me, that's where Reaper excels, kind of being that lone wolf, because you can get yourself into positions that you may not normally get into otherwise. And if all goes south, you just Wraith Form out of the way, got to know where the nearest health globes or orbs are, and jump right, get away and then come back in the action when you're ready. But hitting from these odd angles, I feel like that's where he really is the best. More so than like a Hanzo, definitely more so than like a Genji or even a Soldier 76, who I don't feel has nearly as much burst other than his Helix rockets on slight cooldown. But again, time and time again, just walking behind the enemy, finding where they are not at, and just coming in from just broadsiding them over and over and over again. And it works. I mean, this is not just this kind of gameplay that I'm showing here obviously is one of my best matches, but this happens all the time. This is not an uncommon thing. So you just, and it was amazing. I thought it was a great game, but I just wanted to give a little bit of a love to one of my favorite characters in the game, Reaper. I hope you guys learned something from my rambling, maybe not. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a comment below, let me know what you think, and let me know who your favorite character is in Overwatch. There's plenty of them. I'll try to do more gameplay videos here as I get better with some of the other characters, but right now Reaper's my main guy, and I'm definitely digging him. So, as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there and play Overwatch, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.